Previous class we had seen that Mr. Watson went to fetch Culverton Smith, and he happened to get Culverton Smith. He tried to convince Culverton Smith according to the suggestions given by Sherlock Holmes, and Culverton Smith was also convinced by whatever he said. But then, according to the suggestion, Dr. Watson didn't wait for Culverton Smith. In fact, he left the place before Culverton Smith and he reached back to Holmes. After coming to Holmes, Holmes asked Dr. Watson to hide behind his bed. Okay, so that is what Watson has done so far. You can see he's in his hiding place. When Culverton Smith enters the room, Dr. Watson was still in his hiding place. So all these things we had seen in our last class. So let us see today what happens, whether he moves after listening to Dr. Watson from his hiding place. What happens in that room we are going to know today. So let us begin from where we stopped last time. Holmes, he cried. Holmes, can you hear me? Is that you, Smith? Holmes whispered. So when Culverton Smith got inside, this is what he said. He started calling out Sherlock Holmes's name. Holmes, he cried. So he said loudly, Holmes. Holmes, he said. And then he said, can you hear me? He's asking. Okay. Is that you, Smith? Holmes whispered. So Holmes also asked, is it you, Smith? Holmes asked him. It is very noble of you to have come. Okay. It's very kind of you that you have come. That's what he's trying to say over here. Our visitor sniggered. Do you know what is the matter with you? So sniggered, what do you understand? Disrespectful laugh, right? So he laughed. You know, he was having a lot of grudge within himself. Who? Culverton Smith. So with that grudge, he laughed over there. Okay, that is why it is called as laughter, which was in a disrespectful manner. He laughed over there. Okay, and this is what he said. Do you know what is the matter with you? He's asking he's asking Holmes, do you know what the matter with you? He's asking him. So on this, Holmes replied, the same, said Holmes. I feel very ill, Smith. I know the matter is the same. So he's referring to the matter in the past. So Holmes is trying to connect his own personal matter, personal illness to some other matter. Now what is this some other matter that we are going to see now? Okay, I feel very ill. So on this he said, I am feeling very ill. Smith, this is what he told Smith. Well, I shouldn't be surprised, Holmes. Poor Victor was a dead man on the 4th day. It was certainly, as you said, very surprising that he should have contracted an out-of-the-way Asiatic disease in the heart of London. Singular coincidence. Holmes, very smart of you to notice it, but rather unkind to suggest that it was cause and effect. So he's saying, Culverton Smith says, well, I shouldn't be surprised, Holmes, he says. I shouldn't be surprised, Holmes, he says to Holmes. Okay, because Holmes says, the same, he says, the same. And that is why he says, well, I shouldn't be surprised, Holmes. Then he is referring to the person who was killed with this disease. Okay, that is what he's saying. Poor Victor. Okay, so Victor is the person who was killed by this disease. What is the disease? We'll come to know later. So poor Victor was a dead man on the 4th day. So he says Victor was a dead man. He died on the 4th day. Victor died on the 4th day. It was certainly, as you said, very surprising that he should have contracted an out-of-the-way Asiatic disease. Okay, that he has been affected by an out-of-the-way Asiatic disease, and that too in the heart of London, Singular coincidence. Okay, very strange coincidence it was, right? Holmes, very smart of you to notice it, but rather unkind to suggest that it was cause and effect. So he's saying, Holmes, you are very smart that you identified the illness. So you are very smart smart, he says. Who says this? Culverton Smith to Holmes. Okay, but rather unkind to suggest that it was cause and effect. But it is very unkind to say that it was the cause and effect. I knew that you did it. So this, oh, you did you? Well, you couldn't prove it anyhow. So he's saying, Holmes says, I knew that you did it. That was not a disease, but you killed Victor. This is what, who's saying? Holmes is saying over here, fine. So he's saying, on this, Culverton Smith says, oh, you did. Did you? Well, you couldn't prove it anyhow. Fine. So this is, he's saying, you did. Oh, you did. Did you? Is asking him. Oh, you did. Did you? So, well, you couldn't prove it. So you have understood that. Fine. But you can't prove it that I have done it. Holmes groaned. Do what you can do for me. Let bygones be bygones. Only cure me and I'll forget it. So he says, Holmes is saying this to Culverton Smith. Now you have to do whatever is possible for you to me, he says, isn't it? Whatever had happened in the past has happened, had already happened. Just forget about the past, leave it aside. This is what he says. Only cure me. Only you have to cure me and I'll forget it. And definitely I will forget about the past. So whatever had happened in the past, I'm not going to recollect it and I'm not going to trouble you on that basis. This is what he says, Holmes says. Forget what? So on this, Culverton Smith says, forget what? What to forget? What are you telling me to forget? What I should forget? Well, about Victor Savage's death. You as good as admitted just now that you had done it. So on this, he was caught rightly. Holmes caught him rightly, Smith. So he says, well, forget what he says, right? Who? Culverton Smith says, forget what? So on this, Holmes says, you have to forget about Victor Savage's death. Okay, Victor Savage's death you have to forget. Just now you only told me that you had killed him. You had done it, right? That you only told me. So that I am telling you, this he reminds him. On this, you can just see his reaction. You can forget it or remember it, just as you like. It matters nothing to me that you should know how my nephew died. It's not him we are talking about, it's you. So he says, whether you forget about it, Victor Savage was whose nephew? Culverton Smith's nephew. Okay. And Culverton Smith had killed Victor Savage, right? So that is what he's saying. Whether you remember it or you might have forgotten about it. To whom he says this? He says this to Holmes. This is whether if you want you can remember it or else you can forget it. It doesn't make any sense for me. I don't bother about it. This is what Smith says. It matters nothing to me. That you should know how my nephew, that whether you know how my nephew died. Okay, that doesn't matter at all. It's not him we are talking about, it's you. Right now we are not talking about Victor Savage at all. We are talking about you, he says. Okay, he's pointing out to him and says, we are talking right now, we are speaking about you. We are not talking about Victor Savage, he says. Yes, I'm too ill to think. So he says, yes, I'm too weak to think about it. Who says? Holmes says. Listen, Holmes. There was a sound as if he was shaking the dying man. Do you remember a box, an ivory box? It came by post on Wednesday. You opened it. Do you remember? So he says, listen, Holmes. He started asking. So you know, this narration is done by the third person. Now, third person is here Dr. Watson, isn't it? So he is speaking about it. Whatever had happened, he is hiding over there. Dr. Watson is hiding over there, and from there, from his hiding place, he is listening. That is why you can see, listen, Holmes. So this is said by Smith. There was a sound as if he was shaking the dying man. So this line very clearly says it is said by a third person. Now these two are talking. So in between these two and in his presence, the person who's narrating the story, in his presence, it's not happening. His presence is there, but it's as similar to his absence because he's in his hiding place, isn't it? So he can't directly see what is happening in the room, right? So that is why it is said there was a sound as if he was shaking the dying man. So there was a sound. Who was shaking the dying man? That is Culverton Smith was shaking the dying man. Smith was shaking Holmes. That is what has been said. Do you remember a box, an ivory box? An ivory box? Who says, do you remember a box? Smith is asking this to Holmes. He's asking him, do you remember a box? He says. And that too, an ivory box. He's pointing out to the box. He's mentioning about it. It came by post on Wednesday. Do you remember? It came by post on Wednesday. That means you can just imagine Smith had posted this ivory box, isn't it? To whom? To Holmes. You opened it. Do you remember? You might have opened that box. Normally when we receive a post, what do we do first? To open the post to see what it is, right? So here that is why with full confidence he's saying over here, you open the box, right? Smith says this to Holmes. Do you remember? Don't you remember opening the box? He's asking him. Yes, I opened it. There was a sharp spring inside it. Some joke. So he says, Holmes say, yes, I opened it and there was a sharp spring inside that box. Somebody might have played some sort of mischief. That is what he's saying. Some joke, he says. And there he is pausing. Okay, he's not continuing. Holmes is not continuing that line. It was no joke. It was I who sent it. Who asked you to cross my path? If you had left me alone, I would not have hurt you. So on this, he says, Culverton Smith is saying, it was no joke. No, it was not a joke. The box with this sharp spring inside it was not at all a joke, he says. I had sent it. It was I who sent it, he says. I was the person who had sent it, he says to Holmes. Who asked you to cross my path? Who told you to come on my way? Who told you to come on my way? Smith is asking this to Holmes. Who had told you to come on my way? If you had left me alone, I would not have hurt you. If you had left me the way I was, and you would have never come on my way, I would have never hurt you like this. So what do you understand from this? It is very much clear that whatever had happened, isn't it, to Victor Savage, who complained about it, that is, you know, Holmes is a detective, isn't it? So he went through the case. He might have solved the case and he might have found the culprit. And who was the culprit? Who was the person who killed Victor Savage? None other than his own uncle, Culverton Smith, right? So that is why he's saying, why did you come on my way? Who told you to come on my way? That is why you are hurt right now. That is what he says. So in order to take revenge on this particular matter, he had sent this box, ivory box with a sharp spring in it in order to kill the detective, that is Holmes. Fine. I remember Holmes gasped. The spring, it drew blood. This box, this one on the table. So he's saying, so Holmes says, I really remember. He just gasped, took a deep breath with mouth open, right? So it drew blood, and that particular sharp spring had drawn blood. This box, this one on the table, the one on the table is the box. He's pointing out to the box and is saying. So from this, it might be clear, very clear, isn't it? He is trying to get the things out from Mr. Smith. The detective is trying to bring out the fact that how he killed Victor Savage and how he attempted another murder, isn't it? How he attempted to kill Holmes, right? This he wanted to prove, and that is what he is doing over here. You will later understand in a better manner when we reach towards the end of the story. So the very one, and it may as well leave the room in my pocket. There goes the last shred of evidence, but you have the truth now, Holmes, and you can die with the knowledge that I killed you. So he says, the very one. Yes, that's the one. And it may as well leave the room in my pocket. Okay, and it will be in my pocket, he says, when I leave the room. There goes the last shred. And that is the small piece, shred in the sense, right, of evidence. That is a small piece of evidence. But you have the truth now, Holmes, and you can die with the knowledge that I killed you. So it's very clear to you. You have understood the fact that I had killed you. So with that knowledge, you can die now. What is big thing? That is the only proof. You can't prove. Anyways, you are dying presently. You are dying. So you can't prove anything right now, isn't it? So what's the big deal in it? So let me say, so he is exposing himself over here indirectly, isn't it? And without knowing the fact that somebody else was there in that room, he is going on speaking. That is why, he made Dr. Watson hide behind the bed, right? Holmes made. Holmes's voice had sunk to an almost inaudible whisper. So on this, his voice became very low. Whose voice? The detective's. Holmes's voice had sunk to an almost inaudible. Okay, the voice was unable to be heard, in a small whisper. Okay, slowly he started whispering over here. What is that? Said Smith. Turn up the gas. Is there any other service I can do for you, my friend? So what is that? Smith said. What is that? He said. Turn up the gas. So he's saying turn up the gas. Now what is gas? It's a type of lamp, okay, which was used with gas. In olden days they had a lamp, right, wherein you have to use it with the gas. You have to put on, right? So the lamp is turn up the gas. So when you turn up the gas, what happens? Automatically it lights the lamp. So is there any other service? Can I help you out with anything else? He's asking. I can do for you, my friend. Very friendly, he's asking. Can I do anything else for you? He's asking. Smith is asking the detective Holmes. Okay. Today I'll wind up the explanation up to here. In my next class, I'll continue the